Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take advantage of ChatGPT to do beginner, intermediate, and advanced prompt engineering so that you could take your AI skills to the next level. Let's begin. So this is a good roadmap to see where you are today and where you need to take your AI skills and the potential that lays ahead. So most people start off on the beginner level. They're just dabbling with ChatGPT. They're just using it on their phone and tablet, and they're using it maybe once and twice a week, maybe if that or something like that. The intermediates, yeah, you're using an AI assistant in your daily work, for example, but you're not even paying for any of the subscriptions. You're like almost there intermediate, which is it's good, but it's not good enough. You need minimally to get to the proficient level. The proficient level is where you're using 5 to 10 AI tools in your day-to-day work to streamline your workflow so that you're jumping between using the best tools to get the best work done with as minimal input as possible. And then you're using your digital notebook, highly recommend Notion, as your second brain, and both to manage your tasks, projects, so you can move mountains of work effortlessly. That is the proficient level. That's where you want to get to minimally. Most people aren't just using ChatGPT and they expect to survive in your job, because honestly, in order for you to survive in this AI economy, I'll be honest with you, you need to be good with 5 to 10 tools, not just one like ChatGPT, for example. Like, you won't be able to get a job, you won't be able to grow your business, and you won't be able to get that promotion just thinking you could get by just using ChatGPT or Claude, for example. No, you need, as a professional and in the economy, you need to be good and the best using 5 to 10 different AI tools that are specialized for your task or projects that you're working on. Now, advanced level is what we'll get into, and I'll demo an advanced application in this video. So now you're creating custom business tools using AI to streamline an entire workflow. So a whole project that may take 4 to 8 hours to accomplish, and it's very manual, and they got to move data from one thing to another and process things and do things manually and mentally calculations, but it's prone to errors. Streamline an entire project by building a business tool using AI to write the code for you without having to be a software developer. That is advanced level, and I'll show you an example of that in this webinar. So let's dive in. So the first thing I want to get to is just bare bones. What is prompt engineering and how you can take your prompts to the next level? So prompt engineering, basically, let's start basic. Prompt engineering is giving a set of instructions to an AI assistant, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, doesn't matter. But most people, especially when they listen to the marketing hype of like AI could just do it all with just such a minimal amount of prompt, that's not really the case. These are computer programs at the end of the day that you need to be very explicit and very, I should also say, like step-by-step instructions. So always give more information to the program so that it knows what you want at the end of the day. Most people are just too short in their prompts, or they expect to get it in 1 or 2 shots, and they're like, yeah, I did it twice and it kind of did it. It's like, no. You need to be very explicit. This whole prompt engineering is a whole field. It's almost like the same as computer coding, where a software developer can write a line-by-line code, a set of instructions for the computer to process, and then they could build an application. That a software developer is the same as a prompt engineer. The only difference is that instead of developing software in a IDE or a coding specific language, for example, instead what you're actually doing is writing in plain English the explicit micro steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that you want the computer program or the large language model, ChatGPT, Claude, doesn't really matter, what you want it to do and what you're expecting as the output. There's no difference. That's the interesting thing, is like software development today has been replaced with prompt engineering. You can actually even check out like how they pre-prompt Claude on the back end before it responds to you. Real interesting. There's no coding. They're actually just explicitly guiding the large language model using English and a bunch of instructions to pre-prompt it so that it behaves differently than ChatGPT. That's prompt engineering, and it's pretty powerful. So this is a good framework that I recommend, and I teach my students in the AI Mastery Club. 3 parts to a prompt that minimally, it's a good guided practice. You're not going to use this if you're just like having ChatGPT summarize an email or a blog post, for example. But when you're really trying to get big tasks or projects accomplished using the AI model, this is the framework that you want to use. Let's start a base level. You don't want to go to ChatGPT for information. It's not Google. It's not going to give you a really good answer or authentic answer or be truthful, or that's not how to treat these models. These models are equivalent to like a college intern that you just hired for the first day of work at your business. They're really fast at what they do, but they need step-by-step instructions. So that's where in the prompt engineering, that's where you're working through these three parts to say, okay, you need to first act as a role. So give it, and the framework is act as a role, give it a micro task, and I want the answer in this format. I'm expecting this as the output. So if we go act as a role, you're telling ChatGPT, hey, be a marketer, copywriter, lawyer, analyst, therapist, doctor, prompt engineer. Doesn't really matter. Give it a specific role. Then it knows how to behave when you give it a specific task, for example. Now, the task is where most people make the mistake of they give too big of a task, like write me a whole chapter for a book, write me a whole blog article. Those are too big of a task to send to ChatGPT for it to output. That's not the best way to use it. Rather, you want to give it a prompt, a small micro task, and then you also want to give it a context or information or documents or notes. For example, you're like, do this task with this information and I want this type of output coming out. That's how they treat these models. Don't let them go rogue and just say, hey, you come up with a chapter for a book, or I want to write a blog article and you just wing it. No. You need to give them source information that you verified as truthful and useful to the context of your job or task or role or project that you're working on, and then a very explicit prompt to combine for the model to accomplish that task without having to go and hallucinate and rely on what is basically hallucination is the model. If you ask it a question, it doesn't have the answer in its training data, it will make up information. So that's where people make the mistake, is they ask ChatGPT to give it information or regurgitate information without, you should still be sourcing the truthful notes and documents and information that you want the model to accomplish a task with, for example. So instead, I'm going to say, and it's a micro task. It's going to say you're going to work on the headline, then you're going to work on the outline, then you're going to work on the first paragraph for the first chapter of the book. Breaking it down into micro tasks and taking whatever information you give to ChatGPT and it outputs, you're just looking for 80% good enough. Don't look for perfect. That's already a waste of time trying to chase perfection. You want 80% good enough, and then take that information out, put it in your digital notebook. Notion is the best one, for example, so that you could tweak it, modify it, build on it, search it, or work on it over a few days, because you can't use the chat history, for example, to find information in ChatGPT if you've been working on a project. Get the information out of the model, save it in your digital notebook, like mandatory. Before the 10x productivity improvement, before you even touch AI, you need to be really good with the digital notebook. That is one app that tracks all your documents and notes and your tasks all in one app. If you're not proficient at that level, you need to work on that level. Get a digital notebook. Notion is going to be the best one. It's acting as your second brain, basically. So it remembers all the important things as you work more efficiently. Then you can incorporate AI as the next layer. That's the way I would progress. Especially with productivity. And then you're asking for some specific output. Give it some example of your style of writing. Give an example of a data report that you generate, for example, or a table list in some specific format. You want the model to give you want to give the model a template example of what you're looking for, so that it can fill in the blank with the best answers with your source material. That's the best way. So we're going to now go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to work through, you've all seen like basic chats. I'm not here to teach you any of that. I'm going to show you how to take your AI skills to the next level using custom GPTs and building business tools. That's the next level where you want to get to. Doing micro tasks like chatting with ChatGPT to help summarize an email or blog post, that's beginner level. That's not what we're here for. I'm here to take your skills to the next level so you could grow your business or get that promotion or start a new role with a huge pay grade. So starting off in ChatGPT, on the left hand side, I'm going to go through 3 examples of basically beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels, and then I'll show you a Claude example too. So on the beginner level, you need to be using, let's go to this sheet right here. You need to be building custom GPTs to get the best output from these large language models. If you're just using the regular large language model and just chatting with them, basically, it's like accessing Wikipedia. Everyone has access to Wikipedia. You're not generating anything new or novel. What the real game changing that you need to do, especially to fight hallucination, is you need to provide the model with knowledge base, local knowledge specific to a task or project that you're working on. For example, there's 2 examples that I give. Number 1 is if I'm an attorney and I have a court case coming up and I have 50 documents that are related to this court case that I need to review, understand, and use in order to win the court case. None of that data is in the training model. That's what these large language models are. They're just a bunch of training data that if you feed in a prompt, it just tries to statistically try to fill in the blank or autocomplete the sentence. That's all they do. But if you have a question and it's not in the training data, it will hallucinate. So that's where people make the mistakes. So you really need to be good with building custom GPTs as your next skill level. So custom GPT, build it with your knowledge base, uploading files. Say, for example, you're a business. Actually, we'll actually go into that. So because when you give it a prompt, it with some context or some source information that you verified as truthful, for example, and then it combines that in a custom GPT, I'll show you how, and then it feeds that to the large language model, then this becomes like a really fast college intern that will generate a much higher quality output of work faster than what you can generate on your own. That's the best way to use large language models in this technology. So now that we understand large language or custom GPTs, there are 3 custom GPTs that we're going to go through in this example. On the basic level, I have here, I recommend if you're a business owner, recommend building a business coach GPT or a marketing coach GPT, because every business owner is in the business of marketing at the end of the day, because whoever does the best marketing will win market share at the end of the day. You can have the best product or service, but it's meaningless if you don't have your marketing nailed down and you're the best in the industry. Trust. It's all about marketing at the end of the day. It's not about the quality or product of the service. So we should build a marketing ChatGPT business coach or consultant as your first custom GPT, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I'm going to show you mine. So we're going to take a look at the inside of a GPT. This isn't going to be a tutorial about how to create GPTs. This is just use cases so that you can know what's possible on 3 levels. So level 1 is I have a custom GPT where you give it a description. You're like, hey, you are same form. It uses the same 3-part framework. Give it a role, give it a task, and then expect a specific output. So our role here is like, hey, you're a business strategy and marketing expert consultant helping me optimize and strategize and build my AI consulting business. That's the role. Now the next is the instruction. What is the specific task that you want it to do? This is where your prompt engineering is going to come into play, where you're explicitly, just like a software developer, you're explicitly working step by step what you want this model to understand, to know, and to use and to output. So here we're saying your role is a consulting business strategy and expert marketing consultant. Awesome. Now, ChatGPT doesn't know anything about my business because none of that information is in its training data. If I ask it nuances about my business, it will hallucinate. So that's where I need to provide my local context, for example, all the details about my business, our description, our business model, our products, our pricing, our benefits, our ideal customers, and then the objective. What's the output that you want the model to do? So here I'm saying, ChatGPT, I want you as the output and the behavior to provide feedback on my current business model that will help grow revenue and streamline workflow, suggest strategies for effective marketing and business growth, and offer advice on optimizing my services and products for better profitability and customer satisfaction. Great. Now it knows the output, it knows the local context, and all that is written in English explicitly step by step. That's your prompt engineering. And we're just doing text. So now I can spin up this chatbot on level 1, and it becomes like an AI agent, or like a little employee, or more like a expert consultant that you can call on and say you can be much shorter in your prompts to save you time without having to pre-prompt it every time. That's why you want to pay for the paid model for ChatGPT. So now I can say, give me ideas for lead magnets for my business. Now it takes my prompt plus the local knowledge about everything I pre-prompted it, and then it feeds that to the AI model, and then now I get a much better, higher quality. Oh, I should offer a free mini course. Oh, an AI tools cheat sheet. An AI productivity workbook. Those are pretty good ideas. Great. So now it becomes very much more helpful in how I'm using it, because it has that local knowledge built into custom GPT. Let's take it a step farther. Level 2. Level 2 says, now you want to upload files or documents, not just text, but upload more information through PDFs, text, documents, CSV files, images, for example. So say, for example, that I have my notes here. Let's go to this document, for example. Say, for example, I have this document. It's a PDF document. And I use this document, for example, if I'm an accountant day to day in my business. It may have a new law that I need to be aware of as a tax advisor, for example, and it's 53 documents. I don't want to read it, but I need to reference this document over and over and over in a task. So that's level 2. Now you're uploading external documents, and here I have a IRS chatbot, for example. Let's go and look behind the hood. So under configure, great. So what this IRS chatbot does is it says, use the attached document to help the user answer questions, provide a quote and what page did you find the answer, be concise and translate the answer for average Joe and make it easy to understand, and always provide the page number from which you got the answer, for example. So now you're building a program, uploading additional information. Here's that PDF file right here. So then we save it, boom. And now if I ask my IRS bot, what is Form 8300, for example? Now it's going to go through, look through all those PDF documents if there's many documents that you're referencing, and then it provides the answer, but like a computer program, it's kind of buggy, doesn't always provide what page number did you find that. So we're like, great, it found it on page 11. It's a computer program. It's buggy. You always want to double check your computer program and test it with an example. So if I go page 11, 9, 10, 11, I'm like, cool, yep, 8300. It got the answer from there. Great. Now it's reliable that I can use it day to day for questions with my clients, to save me time without having to source information. It's great for attorneys, for example. So that's level 2, uploading documents. First, level 1, we just uploaded text. Level 2, we upload documents. Level 3, this is advanced. Level 3 is where we're going to now create a business tool, a business application. So in this use case, say for example, in this scenario, I have a fictitious office supply store. And every week I have to create a sales analysis and executive summary and charts and give a presentation to my chief financial officer, the CEO, or my managers, for example, on how's the performance of the business doing. In this fictitious business, we have a CSV file, so a data sheet, so dumping this from our sales report to say, okay, it has order dates, It has it's basically just a data set. It's a sales across region. We have our sales reps. We have our we sell pencils and binders and other office supply stores in this fake business. So here's our item, the number of units, the cost, and the total, for example. So every week I have to do this task, and it takes me 8 hours to crunch the numbers, to create the charts, to create all the formulas, and that's a very repetitive task. There's multiple steps I have to do to accomplish this report and then give an executive summary at the very end. That's where you want to this is level 2. You're building a business tool to streamline a complex workflow by explicitly working down what are step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that it becomes repetitive, or so that if it's repetitive, anything that's repetitive can be automated. Just like a software developer, that's their superpower, is taking repetitive work and automating it with a computer program. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use ChatGPT to build a business tool. In level 1, we used it to build an expert consultant. Level 2, now we're building a business tool that's specific to our business, because this workflow is unique to our business. And that's the nice thing, is there's no custom application that exists out there for our use case. So we're going to look into under the hood of my sales dashboard bot. This is computer programming. This is the great superpower of it without having to write any code. So here I'm creating a bot that says, hey, you're a business tool. Generate executive summaries and charts from the uploaded sales data CSV file. Nice. So then here's our prompt engineering, where we're being very explicit on what we want it to do as the task and what we want as the output. It follows the same 3-step output: role, task, format. So here we're saying, role, you're a data analyst. Task, use the attached file, and here's all the micro tasks. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clean up the data and format it. Then understand the data and answer these questions. So here now we're being very explicit on the format that we want as the output. So then we're saying, hey, give us the total sales, give us sales by region, give us sales by the item, and then I want you to visually create the charts for me. Awesome. And then lastly, here's the executive summary. Give us some recommendations on how to improve sales. Cool. So I'm going to click close. And then you create buttons. That's the great thing about software developers. They just create buttons that do all the work automatically, which is nice. So the only variable that changes is every week I just download a new CSV file and upload it as an attachment, and I'm done. So now when I spin up a conversation with my sales dashboard bot, it has a little button right here. I just press the button and it does all the work for me. So now it's done analyzing the file. It wrote some computer program, and so now we could take a look at our summary of data. Great, it did the total sales, calculated it for us. Total sales, the order numbers, total sales by region, nice, sales by item. We explicitly told it, we didn't tell it what the values were. We just give it placeholders and have the large language model answer it in the format that we're looking for. Then we're like, hey, we want to create these 5 charts. Awesome. Here's our first chart. Nice, and it's interactive, so if you hover over it, you'll get the values. So we're selling a lot in Central. That's pretty cool. Ooh, which products are we selling? Binders. We're selling the most of binders. People need them binders. So we got sales by item. We got monthly sales trend over the year. Very nice. Must be through December is probably our biggest selling. Then we got total sales by item. Nice. This is cool. Average cost by item. Nice. And then we got our key insights. Man, this is saving me time. I just went and got my coffee and came back, and boom, it's done. Nice. Building a business tool using AI tools to write the code for you is a huge productivity hack. Such a hack. So we got our analysis, and then lastly, we got our recommendations to improve sales. I didn't have to crunch any of the data. Now, of course, I'm still going to go verify a lot of the data before I ship it as a final project. Don't just trust whatever these large language models output. Always verify. But now that's done. And that took, 20 seconds? That's wild. And it did it all for me. So that's built. And the only thing, if I had to do this again next week, I just took 8 hours, condensed it down to 20 seconds, and now I can invest that time in going and learning new projects or learning new skills at the end of the day. What you learn today will always benefit your life tomorrow. That's why I love learning. So that's one level. Now, the last level is I want to show you a different tool, Claude, for example. And Claude can also build custom applications for you. So in this demo, I found this on Reddit. Reddit's great for like staying up to date with all the AI, what's going on. So here, this person works in the real estate industry. They have to generate a pro forma report. It probably takes 4 hours to accomplish, if not probably a little more. It's very manual. It's done by a human, so you know they could probably make a mistake along the way. But they wish they could automate it, but they're not a software developer. That's why learning how to use these AI tools gives you a superpower, just like a regular person who learns how to code becomes a software developer. You can automate a lot of work, and it's so powerful. So what did they do? They work down the steps, just like if you were to hire a college intern to accomplish this job. You're just explicitly saying in English what you want this intern to do with this information. For example, you're saying upload the documents, then parse the documents, then confirm the property information, and then give a current financial analysis of the property, then give forecasting assumptions and confirm. And then lastly, spit out a pro forma financial statement. So we just work down explicitly. That's all software developers do, is they're just explicitly working down in micro steps what they want the computer program to do. Because computer programs are very fast, but they're very dumb also. So that's why learning how to code. So this demo is going to go by in about 10 seconds. So watch very closely. I'm going to play this video of the user so they wrote the code in English, or the steps they want the model to do. Claude has artifacts, which allows you to run computer programs on there. And so now I'm going to click play, watch the user use their new business app, and they didn't even write any code. So step one, they're going to upload the documents. There's 3 files, done. Then they're going to parse it. Boom, parses it, extracts the information, gives them the format that they want. Great. Then it gives them the current financials, fills in the blank. This is a demo. Great. And then they confirm, yep, data looks good. Boom, run the pro forma, spits out the data in exactly the format that they wanted. Boom, now in about 10 seconds, they got the answer going, this property will give us 18% on return. I'm not going to pretend like I know what that means. I'm not in real estate. But someone had to, they were wasting 4 hours or some amount of hours doing this task manually, and have to do it over and over and over again. Mentally taxing, they can make mistakes, but that's where the tool is. They're not giving it to AI. That's the difference. They're not giving it to AI to do the work, but using AI, you can build custom business tools to streamline a workflow or to accomplish a whole project. That's the next level. That's the super advanced level. So let's recap what we learned. We learned there's a path to going from beginner to ChatGPT expert, and where you are today to where you need to be. So next level, you need to start learning the 5 to 10 AI tools that are specific for your job, not just ChatGPT. I use about 7 throughout my day, on my day-to-day, and I pay for 3 of them, for example. Then you eventually want to get to building custom GPTs, so you get much higher quality answers in what your work is trying to do, especially for repetitive tasks. And then pro level is where now you're going to build a business tool to streamline a project, to automate it without having to write any code, so that the computers do the work and you don't have to, and you save countless hours. On average, if you learn AI, you'll save yourself 4 hours a day back in your time. What could you do with 4 hours a day back in your time just by learning this new skill set? So the main takeaways from where you are today, broke and fighting inflation, to either getting that promotion, starting that job, starting your business, growing your business, or just 10xing your productivity in your career and your work, you're one AI skill away. Where can you learn AI skills? So This episode is sponsored by My Business, which is Simple Tech Skills. Think of it like Netflix for AI training, where we have a suite of AI courses to take you from beginner to expert in everything from ChatGPT. Look at our ChatGPT course. It is super in depth on all the things, every feature, so that you know tool mastery. And then all the cool things you could do after taking the course: you can create content, work smarter, automate your business tasks, master sales copy, build effective lead magnets, dominate SEO, create custom GPT agents so you have an army of AI experts, build custom business tools without writing any code. And then we train you so that you could become a ChatGPT AI expert. But there's more, because ChatGPT isn't the be-all end-all. You need to learn how to build a digital notebook and use it efficiently. So we teach you how to use Notion to build a second brain so that you can organize your work and your life all in one app, so you can move mountains of work effortlessly and never get scatterbrained, never get overwhelmed, and never burn out. And then we even go advanced level, where we're going to train you on how to build custom trained chatbots. These are AI agents that work for your business 24/7, both externally and internally. You can't see it. Let me see if I could just move my screen this way. If you go to my landing page, you can actually interact with my custom chatbot that knows everything about my business. He's a 24/7 concierge that you can ask any question. He's this little chatbot down here. You can ask him any question 24/7, 365. Hey, how do I get started? And my little chatbot knows everything. Look at it, spit that out. He knows everything about my business and gave you a custom, this isn't pre-prompted, it's a custom tailored answer specifically that can do customer service, that can do lead generation, that can do sales. Even deploying this internally for your own team can help when your team has questions about processes and standard operating procedures, or who do they talk to file this report or this ticket, for example. Imagine having a 24/7 agent inside your business that's helping your team. That's just so cool. So we teach you how to build custom trained chatbots, and then we've got Notion. We've got more courses coming up with Claude and Perplexity. There's a 14-day money-back guarantee, and then we certify you so that you could become a ChatGPT expert. So if you're interested in taking your AI skills to the next level, master prompt engineering, build custom AI business tools to streamline and automate your workflow, go ahead and click the link below to join the AI Mastery Club. We have over 300 entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals leveling up their skills, learning massive AI skills so that they can move mountains of work effortlessly. I'm Jonathan Acuna. I hope you learned something new today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.